Good evening, Drew.
Whew, boy, I can't believe it's 9 o'clock already.
It is 9 o'clock on a Thursday.
Your mic sounds different yet again.
Okay. Didn't do anything different.
I know. After I did listen back to the episode last week, and you were right, it sounded fine. It was just so weird the way Skype is like kind of butchering this. And like now, you don't sound like last week you sounded like extremely overmodulated. And now this week it just sounds like there's a fan or something in your background. I don't know. Weird computers, right?
Well, let's make sure. Hold on. Nope. Okay. Sometimes I have an air filter, an air purifier that I run when I work, and sometimes I forget to turn it off, but it's off.
Okay.
How are you, Drew?
I'm good. I have to apologize to you.
What? Why?
So,
Why?
Oh God, Siri, no, don't do that. Hang on.
Mm-hmm.
Why did that just happen? Like Siri just went nuts here. No, I have to apologize. So a few weeks back, you came over for a game night here.
Uh-huh.
And you brought me a really, God damn it, what is my phone doing? It's literally transcribing everything. I'm like, stop it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know why. I know why it's doing this. I was messing around earlier today with voice control.
Mm-hmm.
It's a long story.
Okay.
Yeah. Hold on. I have to turn this off. Where did I do this? Voiceover, audio description, spoken content, guided access. Wait a minute. How did I turn this on? Voiceover is off.
I don't know. I've never done it before.
Zoom off. Touch, switch, voice control. Okay, voice controls. Okay. Let's make sure that stops. Okay, don't do this anymore. Okay. All right, we're in the clear. Let me start over.
Okay.
Leave all this in. This is the show.
Okay.
No, you came over for a game night. It had to be almost like a month ago at this point. And you brought me a very nice bottle of bourbon.
Mm-hmm.
And I have walked past that bottle of bourbon on my drink cart, as one does. Mm-hmm. And it dawned on me that I never really thanked you for that.
Oh, that's you did when I gave it to you.
I don't remember.
That's bullshit.
And it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough because like there was a lot of people coming and going, and I never really. I mean, I haven't even cracked it open yet. It'll probably get cracked open over the holidays as after I finish my other one. But that was like super sweet of you, buddy.
Oh, you're welcome.
And
I
don't feel like I did a good job of saying thank you for that.
Oh, no, you did, but you're welcome again.
Okay, I had to get that off my chest.
Mm-hmm.
A couple things before we dive into topics du jour. This literally just popped up on my computer when I restarted Steam today. Have you seen this new Steam charts thing that they have?
No. Why would I see this?
I don't know. Because you're into games. God damn it.
I don't buy things.
Sharpen
on
me
Steam.
like a knife.
I only occasionally log on to Steam these days to like gift my son a game or something. That's really
anyway.
Steam are. Yeah.
Steam released a new site basically that shows what the current like max played games are over a period of time, what people are buying. I just think it's really cool intelligence. There's some neat data in there, and it pertains to a topic we have later on in the show. But it's interesting to see how many people were playing Destiny every day on Steam. I didn't realize it was that many people.
I still can't believe it's number 5 in top selling games. Like that's
people like it, man. I've been playing a lot. I've been playing a lot of Destiny. I still really like it. But what drives me insane is that so many people still play Counter-Strike.
Yeah, I saw that.
If you look, if like most played, it's Counter-Strike versus the field. Like it's almost like the next two barely add up to more than the peak number of players that were on today.
Peak today was almost 1 million players.
Almost 1 million people still playing that dumbass Counter-Strike game. Man, I'm not going to yuck anybody's yum because I mean, video games are subjective, just like all art and medium forms, like metal.
But true.
I do not understand how that game continues to have so many people playing it. But yeah, Destiny's up there. Team Fortress 2 apparently still going strong.
It is.
Yeah. Anyway, it's interesting. I'll put a link in the show notes if you care at all about what games people are playing. I mean, Grand Theft Auto 5, for crying out loud. Or people are still playing that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I don't anymore because I got banned, but
I thought you got another account and played it some more.
I did.
I watched you for a little bit on Twitch. You lie.
That's true. That's true. I have a second account. Don't tell anyone.
I won't.
All right, more follow up. You ordered a bunch of iPhones.
You want to guess how many?
4.
4.
Okay. All right. So you went all in after everything we talked about. Yeah,
I did.
All right. Tell me what happened.
Well, I wanted to get my kids phones, and then I checked the trade-in values for my wife and I's 13 Pros and Pro Max, and it was like more than half of what we paid for them. I'm like, fuck it, we're getting new phones. Though, while I got my kids, the 14s for my children both arrived. My Pro and my wife's Pro Max will not be here until the middle to end of October.
Wait, stop. I know your wife is a Max gal. Is more than one person getting a Max?
No, I got the Pro. I got the 14 Pro.
Okay.
She got
Sorry,
the 14 Pro Max. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Those won't be here until middle of end of October. But I did order them. I know we talked about eSIM before.
Yep.
I did want to talk about my experience with eSIM.
Okay.
I wanted to try converting my phone to eSIM first. My old crufty 13. It went absolutely fine. No problems. What I did I did the same thing on my daughter's phone. I converted hers first before I did the transfer to the new phone, and I did not do anything on Zachary's phone. I just let it convert as part of the transfer.
Okay, so wait, sorry, not to interrupt you, but
so I tried it both ways. Yep.
Yeah, so not to completely cut you off here, but apparently, right, these new phones require eSIM, correct?
Yes, there is no SIM tray on the
There is no
14s.
SIM tray, so
at all.
So if you were to buy one of these phones, you either have to do the conversion yourself, or as a process of upgrading your new phone, it's going to have it for you.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I want to make sure I have that clear. So walk me through it and tell me how it went.
Okay, so I did my daughter's first, and the first thing I did was on her old phone, her old 11, I converted that to eSIM on her phone. Now, well, my conversion went flawlessly. Hers was a little bumpy. I hit the button, I agreed, it spun for a while, and then for like 5 minutes, it looked like it had no SIM card in it at all. Like the only thing that was displaying was like SOS that you could make emergency calls. And then suddenly the UI just changed. It was like, oh, yeah, I see your old crufty SIM card in there. You can take that out. And your new eSIM, and it was fine. The same thing happened again during the conversion process. It asked me if I wanted to transfer the eSIM. I said yes. When the transfer finished and I brought it up, it looked like it had no SIM card in it at all. Like no eSIM. It was just like, yeah, nothing here. Add an eSIM. So I was like, well, shit. So I opened up AT&T and like I was going to go, okay, I know I can get an eSIM online. And by the time I got to that point, I looked down on her phone. It was like, psych, I got you. Everything's fine.
So is there some sort of component of something happening on AT&T's side?
It might have been. Like for Zachary's, I didn't do any of that. I just started the transfer. And as part of the transfer, it's like, hey, you have a regular SIM in your old phone. Would you like to transfer that to an eSIM on your new phone? I said yes, and that worked flawlessly. Just absolutely no problems. When his phone was done, like the transfer, it was all there. I made a test call. It was fine. So like, I guess my advice is if you transfer it to an eSIM and it looks like it didn't work, just like wait 5 minutes. And see if it works, because that's for on Arabelle's phone. That's exactly what happened. It looked like it didn't do anything, and then suddenly it was like, oh, eSIM, yeah, I got that.
So how? So I mean, how have they been so far? I mean, you haven't gotten yours yet, but
And the kids both really like theirs. No problems.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, they're iPhones. They're yeah.
And did you? And you said because of the trade-in value, you just bought them outright, correct?
Yeah, that's what I've been doing anyway. I've just been buying them directly from Apple, mostly because soon I'm just absolutely fed up with AT&T's coverage where I live.
Yep.
So I'm probably just going to switch to Verizon. And I found out today that because of eSIM, I can do all of it online and not talk to anybody.
Isn't that the best feeling? Not having to talk to an actual person.
So I'm like, oh shit, all we need to do is get like the IEMI numbers from everyone's phone.
Yep.
And I can totally do this.
You can totally do that.
Yeah.
So, okay. Walk me through the trade-in process, because as I understand it, you basically get a credit towards your purchase, right? Is that how it works?
So you don't get any. Okay, so there's two ways of doing it. So basically, when you tell it you have a trade-in, you tell it what kind of phone you have. Sometimes it asks for the serial number, sometimes it doesn't, and they send you a box, like a little cardboard coffin to put the old phone back in. If you pay completely up front, after they get your phone and validate everything, they basically like give you that money back on your credit card. They kind of like do a reverse charge.
Got it.
If you choose to pay through Apple's new monthly thing, you get the credit up front. They basically just go, okay, we're going to reduce your your overall cost by this, and here's your monthly cost. I guess the assumption there is that if you don't send it in or something, they have your credit card information, and
they're just going to keep charging you.
Exactly. Yep.
And if you choose to pay for the whole thing up front, you basically just get a partial refund.
Yep. Okay. Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm due for lots of Apple upgrades in this house. Like I said, I know that I want to get my wife a new phone. I could probably eke out another year on my 13 Pro. But I'll probably cave and get a new one. And like my work phone is pretty much on its last legs at this point. It's acting very strange. It's acting very strange. I had so many problems upgrading it. Like every time I tried to do the update against it, like it just kept failing, and I ended up having to actually plug my phone into my computer to do the upgrade. I haven't done that in 6-7 years or whenever the last time that was a thing. I don't know what happened there, but it's been pretty dicey, buddy. So there's 3 phones in our future, and I would like to just pay, much like you. I'm sort of done leasing my phone from my provider. I paid for the current iPhone that I have completely, and we did the installment plan thing through AT&T for my XR and my wife's XR. So we're due, and I'm just kind of curious how it works, because I want to do that for my laptop as well. I have a harder time letting go of that one, just because I feel like if I buy it, they're going to ship it to me. I'll get it, and then I have to like get everything off of it. And I don't know how much time do they give you to return it?
Oh, they give you like a couple of weeks. They will start sending you like nasty grams. Because there was one time where I basically, when I replaced my MacBook Pro with like the butterfly keyboard, I sold that back to Apple because I didn't want to hand that down, because that keyboard was evil. And it, like you, like I kind of hem-hauled around it and like, oh, I gotta wipe it and make sure everything's good and do all that stuff. And they sent me an email like, hey, we haven't got your laptop yet. You better mail that back in. I don't think they actually tell you the time, but it's like a couple of weeks. I have to do that with I'm selling my kids' old phones back as well, just because I don't need them anymore. So I got the cardboard boxes sitting over here, and I'll get them going. One last random thing. My daughter bought, in the iPhone 14, she bought the Starlight color.
Oh, okay.
And it is fantastic.
Interesting.
Fantastic.
So Starlight is let me pull it up here real quick. That's not the purple, is it?
No, it's their white silver one.
Oh, right.
Unlike the pictures, the back of the phone looks like bright white, and
bright white.
And the trim, the aluminum trim, is kind of like this really soft, like not quite like a silver with like a little bit of yellow in there, and it just looks fantastic.
But she just has a regular iPhone 14.
Yeah, the iPhone 14. Yep.
That color doesn't come in the Pro.
It does not.
Oh man, it's funny. I was looking at that Starlight color for that.
Mm-hmm.
That does look so
cool. If you have to replace your work phone and you're going to buy a 14 for that, man, it is really sharp in person, man.
Mandy's probably going to want blue. I would probably get Starlight. Although the red, I still like how bold that red looks.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I'm just looking here. So it looks like I have an iPhone 12 Pro, not a 13. Quick correction. Okay. That looks like I can get up to about $430 for that, which would offset about half. Ish. But you want to talk about depreciation? Holy shit! The iPhone XR is like $100.
Yeah.
Woof.
Yeah.
That sucks.
You might be able to find somewhere else online that will pay more for it. I just like the simplicity of just making it all in one.
That's just it. I mean, that's just it. I want it to be easy. Yeah. I have an Apple Watch that I don't wear anymore because of my new fancy watch. I think it is a Series 4. Holy cow, $55?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
The watch values, I don't know. Like,
God damn, I thought car depreciation was bad.
Yeah. Though I think I did price trading in my Series 6, and I think they said like $200 maybe. I don't know.
I'm looking at this chart. Estimated trade-in value 125. I mean, I'm sure if you like, God, I mean, those might even be the highest of high end. I don't even know. But apparently you have to I'd have to log in and type in serial numbers and things. I don't want to make people wait on that, but yeah, that's on my list. Maybe we'll go to the AT&T store this weekend and get that figured out. I don't know. I could probably go to if I want to do the trade-in, I have to do it through Apple. I mean, because we own the phones outright at this point. I own my phone outright, and we've had these phones for 2.5 years. I don't see how they wouldn't be ours at this point. But who knows what kind of shenanigans AT&T could pull.
Now, I believe that if you want to make the whole process quicker, you can do the trade-in right at the Apple store. That they check it for cosmetic damage, and they run a little like diagnostic on it, and they'll give you a trade-in value right there, and just it'll all be done. But again, I don't like people, so and like the Apple store is like 40 minutes away.
Yeah, it's all for you. and listen, it's no slouch for me either. I mean, I actually went to a mall for the first time.
Ooh.
Okay, quick sidebar. Friend of the show, John Krebs, got married not too terribly long ago, like a little over a year ago at this point, I think. And originally he was going to have a wedding, and I was in it, and there's things like renting a tux and a suit and all this, and he was going to use basically an online suit rental place. So he picked out his colors and everything, and you go online and you pick your size, and we had to put down a deposit on a suit. It was a couple $100. So of course, COVID happened. The wedding, instead of being a larger event, became a much smaller event. I was still invited. It was still a small family-ish affair with a few friends versus family plus a larger group of friends, and that was all really fun and nice and everything. But at the end of the day, the groomsmen basically wore whatever suits they had at home, and we just all had to wear the same color tie. I mean, that was sort of the compromise. And the bridesmaids' dresses were still a thing, but the guys just sort of did whatever. Anyway, I had this credit sitting with this black tux company for a while, and now that I've been getting more serious about my nutrition and everything, and I had that sitting there, and I don't think it ever expires, but you can also buy suits through this company. And I don't have a suit that is sized for me at all. I have a suit that is too big for me, and I have a suit that is too small for me right now. I have different mismatch. I have like blazers and sport coats and other things and dress pants, but I don't really have a suit that is tailor fit to me. However, because I have this credit, I was able to go to a Nordstrom, which this company partners with, and they take your full measurements and you try things on and you figure out like what is the best cut for you, the best fit, and all that stuff. But buddy, just getting over to like an actual mall, I don't understand how. I mean, I know a lot of malls are going out of business, but the bigger malls here in Columbus, right? Polaris, East. This was over at Easton, just an absolute madhouse of people, and I did not like it. I did not like going to the mall. and I say that because you're right. The Apple store is kind of like that because that store is always busy. Mm-hmm. You're always kind of waiting around for one of the geniuses to come and help you because there's very little you can do in that store yourself.
Yeah, nothing you can do really.
I mean, you don't have to stand in line at a register anymore, but you still have to wait for somebody. Well, actually, that's not true, right? You can check out on your phone now, I believe.
You can check it on your phone, yeah.
So, but there's not much you can buy.
Exactly. Like, it's like cases. Like, if you want to buy anything, they have to, like, do the little thing and then, like, wait for the person in the back to come out.
Yeah. Unless you're buying a lightning cable. Like,
exactly. Yep.
Yikes. So cool. And you said your stuff's going to be here in October.
Yeah.
Okay.
About a month, probably.
What color did you get again? Did you?
Both my wife and I got the deep purple.
Deep purple.
Deep purple.
Which she got the Pro or non-Pro?
The Pro Max.
Wow.
The big one. She likes the big one.
You love your wife this much. Deep purple.
Yeah, deep purple.
Pro Max.
She takes a lot of photos, so the better camera is worth it. And me, it's got the new dynamic island, and I want that.
I want that so bad. I want the little pets that live on Dynamic Island.
I do too.
I know. I saw those, and I'm like, I have to have that.
Oh, I'm really surprised Apple let that through, but
right?
I hope it's still there by the time I get mine. But people who don't know, Apollo, they're the best. The only Reddit client you should be using if you have an iPhone. They added a little feature where they put a little like animal walking on. You can pick a pet that lives on the dynamic island, and I want it so bad.
I want it so bad, Paul. I saw that too, and I'm like, God damn it, they got me. Apollo is the best Reddit app.
It is.
It's not even close.
It's not even close.
Yeah. The only thing I don't like about it is if someone sends me a link to Reddit, like in a text message or something, sometimes it opens in Safari and not that app. I don't know how to fix that.
So there is
and then it's like continue in the Reddit app, and I'm like, nope.
Yeah. Apollo, as part of the install, there's a Safari extension you can enable.
Huh?
Yeah, there's a Safari extension you can enable, and it basically, it's called Open in Apollo. You turn that on, and it detects Reddit links in a browser, and it goes, oh no, and opens them in Apollo. Yeah.
Is there a setting? Oh, wait a minute. Open links in in-app Safari. Oh, that's for opening links inside of Apollo.
So open Safari.
Open Safari. Okay.
And then in the address bar in the bottom, there's a little thing that looks like a puzzle piece.
There is.
Click on that.
No, there isn't.
Oh, there isn't?
No. Not in the bottom of my Safari.
Huh. Okay,
you mean like where the back buttons and the share buttons and the bookmark buttons are?
In the actual address bar.
In Safari, no. No, I don't have that. I don't have that. Why don't I not have that?
I don't know.
I have to turn my phone sideways?
I don't think so.
I have the reader view. Okay. Oh, manage extensions. Okay, hold on a second.
There you go. Okay.
Open an Apollo. Boom.
Turn that on.
God, my entire life is fixed.
Yep.
Thank you. Oh my God, this podcast finally paid off for me.
Yeah. That's Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You will never be bothered with that again.
Thank God. Okay, putting that in the show notes because that is a lifesaver. All right. Anything else about your iPhones?
Nope. Let's talk about video cards.
Video cards. All right, tee us up.
I heard on the internet. Actually, no. Someone in one of my team's chat posted that nVidia announced last episode. You're talking about all this new stuff was coming. You're excited about the new AMD stuff, the new nVidia graphics cards, but those got announced
Yep.
So I know nothing. I haven't. I just know they exist. I haven't looked. In fact, I typed the wrong number in the show doc the first time.
You did.
That was embarrassing.
That was adorable. That was adorable.
But tell me about the 4000 theory series and the GeForce RTX 4090 in particular.
The RTX 4090. So the NVIDIA Beyond event, which was the event I could not remember. Last show when we first talked about this happened on the 20th, which was just a couple days ago at the time of the recording. And as expected, NVIDIA basically announced their new Ada Lovelace architecture. So all the different series of video cards that NVIDIA makes are named after inventors. So there's been like, I think Tesla was the last one. Tesla was 2 ago. I forget. But Ada Lovelace is the new architecture. And it is part of this new NVIDIA 4000 series. So we can expect at launch, and this is something that's kind of stuck in my craw. We'll talk about sort of my gripes with NVIDIA here in a minute. They are launching in October. Available October 12th will be when the first cards start to appear on store shelves. And the only card that will be available on October 12th is the 4090, which is the quote-unquote flagship, highest of high-end, most expensive card in the lineup. They will also be making a GeForce RTX 4080 that will be available, quote, at some point after that. I don't think they have officially landed on a date of when those will appear. And those will be slightly less powerful than the 4090. Let's do the easy stuff first. I mean, numbers only go up. So this is going to be more powerful than the current NVIDIA 3090 Ti, which is the current high-end card that NVIDIA offers and offered through partners as well. They're saying it's anywhere from a 2 times to a 4 times uplift in performance, depending on, of course, listen, video card benchmark numbers are. It's like garbage. The Java. Yeah, well, you really have to be careful about how you take them, because it's very easy to say, oh yes, you get 4 times performance if you're playing Counter-Strike at 1080p on a 500 megahertz monitor, right? So
they can pick the benchmark that tells the story they want to tell. Yeah,
and at resolutions that I enjoy gaming at, like 4K now, I probably won't get 4 times performance, but if I got double performance, I think it would probably be worth it, because I have an NVIDIA 3090. I do not have the Ti edition, which is the slightly upped version when they refreshed their line about a year ago, because the graphics card that I have now is coming up on 2 years old. So it's going to be powerful. It's going to be the top of the line, the best of the best. If you want to assure that you're not leaving anything on the table in terms of performance, this will be the one to buy. AMD is also going to be launching some updated graphics cards, but honestly, I don't see them taking the performance crown away from NVIDIA. NVIDIA continues to be the leader in this segment. They will continue to make the best cards, and I will probably end up buying one.
Okay. How much? How much?
Okay.
How much, Drew?
So price.
Okay.
So the starting MSRP for what NVIDIA calls their reference design. In other words, if you buy the one NVIDIA branded,
sells. Yeah,
the one NVIDIA sells, because remember, NVIDIA develops the architecture and they license other manufacturers to build the video cards. So NVIDIA will have some that they source from whoever builds their graphics cards. So, NVIDIA has the PCB with all the millions of transistors on it, and then they put a heat pipe or cooling fins and a fan on it and put the logo on it, and they sell it as something you can buy from NVIDIA. That card will start at $1,600, $1,599.
Wow.
Now put this in perspective, though. That's a lot of money by anybody's measure. That is a lot of money for one individual component.
You can get like 3 PlayStation 5s
if you could find
them. True.
So put this in perspective. So my 3090, I bought right before the graphics card market went batshit, right around election time. 2 years ago. I was very lucky. I had been sort of stalking Micro Center to see when they would get stock in, and like literally election day, I got up at 5 a.m, went and worked out, got done at 6, went over and voted because I basically carved out part of my morning to go do that. I had taken a couple hours off of work because I was going to go vote, maybe go out to breakfast. So I got done working out, and I was like, well, I'll just drive over to Micro Center to see what's going on. And I got to Micro Center, and there was nobody outside at 6:30 in the morning, which was odd. So I decided, like, I'll park my car and I'll go stand in line. And I was there probably 10 minutes, and then like 5 other people showed up. And I'm like, okay, well, up until this point, people had been standing around outside, and it was cold, and I really had to go to the bathroom, and I'd been drinking coffee. Almost literally a shit show standing in line. But anyway, but I bought a partner board of a 3090 that was slightly overclocked, because that's what the partner boards do, is they tend to bump the clock up, that makes it go just a little bit faster than a reference board, or maybe it's got RGB on it, or whatever. Anyway, I paid like $1,700 for that. So this is about on par, assuming I can get it at MSRP. We'll talk about that in a minute. This is about on par what I paid for the graphics card that I have now. Now, I have always tended to offset my graphics card purchases by selling my other graphics card. That will probably not happen this time. There is a glut of graphics card on the markets right now because of all the Ethereum stuff that happened, and GPU mining isn't as profitable, and Bitcoin's in the toilet. Like, selling my graphics card, even to a friend right now, is probably not feasible. So again, to put it in perspective, I sold my 20 series when I bought the 3000 series, and I think I sold it for like $400 or $500, which offsets some of that cost. That probably won't happen this time. And if I do, it probably will not be for as much. So cost is going to start at $1,600. I would expect the partner cards, which will probably be what I buy, because that's probably what Micro Center will get in. Those will probably run anywhere from $1,700 to $1,800, if not closer to the $2,000 mark.
Wow.
Yep. Wow. Look,
hardcore.
I won't lie to you. I will probably end up buying one of these, but I have some gripes about sort of where this is going for NVIDIA. So I basically have 3 main gripes right here. NVIDIA's current strategy for increasing performance here is essentially, we'll just pump more juice through it. Like,
got it.
Fundamentally, other than upping the number of transistors on the design, which is what these graphics cards are just insanely dense, packed clusters of transistors, like chock full of transistors. Oops, all transistors. It's like, that's all that they are. And they've upped the count. I don't think they've switched to a smaller manufacturing die, like whatever nanometer these are built on. I don't think any of that has changed. In fact, I don't even think the total amount of memory has changed. Let me pull up a chart here real quick. Compared to the 3090 Ti, still the same memory speed, by the way. The only things that have changed are the number of what they call CUDA cores, which again, that's like a transistor type thing. But fundamentally, not that much more has changed, except the total amount of power that you have to push through this thing. And as somebody who had up until recently a shaky 850 watt power supply, with the numbers that people are talking about with these new graphics cards, like you're well beyond needing a 850 watt power supply to probably power some of these newer cards. You are probably in the 1,000 watt PSU range if you plan to do any sort of overclocking, if you plan to sort of do any high end processor stuff with some of these new motherboards and some of this other stuff that's going to be coming. I don't know. Required minimum power for some of these things is currently sitting at 850. That's the minimum. So you're gonna have to push considerable power to these cards for them to work. And we talked a little bit about last time about the number of power connectors and how they're gonna have this new interface and adapter and all that. And all that's, I don't like that, but that's not like I can get over that.
Right.
The other issue is, we don't know thermally how these are going to perform. As somebody who has struggled with computer temperatures, Cramming this hotter card into my case is not something that I'm overly thrilled about. I'm going to put a link in the show notes. Gamers Nexus did an absolutely fantastic video that I really want you to watch.
Okay.
The title of the video is Absolutely Absurd RTX 40 Video Cards. And it's every partner announced design and build so far.
Wow.
And they go from relatively tame on the Asus side to the marketing has taken over. Let's just put it that way. And I encourage you to watch it, and you can watch Steve from Gamers Nexus, which this is the second week in a row we're talking about Gamers Nexus, but you can watch Steve from Gamers Nexus slowly lose sanity as he reads copy for some of these cards. It's
Steve
pretty good.
From Gamer Nexus has lovely hair, by the way.
Yeah. I figured that we might click with Steve.
I bet you he's got a really good Spotify playlist.
I wonder if you could find that. I'm sure that you probably could. Anyway, it's a funny watch, and you can see what these partners are planning to do. The reason I bring that
one's
up,
called the Midnight Kaleidoscope.
Yeah. Well, welcome to the party, Paul.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sorry. So why do I bring this up? So some of these partner boards are going to be building in some all-in-one cooling solutions as part of their boards. Now, obviously, that carries, as you guess, probably a price premium.
And another radiator, you probably have to find a spot for.
Got to find a spot. Got to have a spot for that radiator. It has to be mounted in the right place so air doesn't collect in the pump. There's a whole thing.
I remember this. Yes.
Now, here's the bigger issue I have. These cards are massive because not only are the PCBs or the circuit boards bigger, but because they put out more heat, the heat pipes and cooling fins and fans have gone up in size. There was a link on Twitter earlier today, and I did not copy and paste a Twitter thread where people were posting sort of side-by-side renders of the number of slots that these cards are going to take up. And right now, brother, there's no room at the in my case.
Oh, no.
So I have 3 expansion cards in my case right now. I have my graphics card that covers what it's basically, I think it's they call it a 3-slot card. It takes up 3 slots like on the back of the case. Underneath that, I have a USB controller because for some reason, some of these chipsets just are like, nobody needs USB anymore.
Right.
Like, as somebody who wants to do VR prior to getting my new headset, I had to plug in a headset and 2 sensors and then all of my rudders and joysticks and all this other crap. I mean, USB ports go quick, buddy. So I have a USB add-on card in there. And then I also have that other card that we talked about a few shows ago where I have some additional hard drives on an expansion card.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
And I have a very sinking feeling that if I were to get this 4090, one of those cards has to go. Like, there's not going to be enough room.
Oh, no.
There's not going to be enough room to stack all those cards in there because, I mean, right now, one of them is also, I mean, there's not a lot of space between the, where the fans are of the graphics card and like my USB controller. So I don't think I'm going to have room to do a 4-slot card in my case if that's what some of these are going to be. So, the fact that they have to sort of deal with that cooling. So I'm probably going to look very carefully at some of these partner solutions that I can get one that might only take up 1.5 slots and will be liquid cooled, even if that means I have to mount another radiator in my case. So the sheer size of these things is going to be a problem for a lot of people. I mean, if you haven't built your own computer, if you have like a Dell or, like an Alienware or like a Lenovo Legion or, I mean, Micro Center's house brand, maybe you might be able to get away with this if you upgrade the power supply. I don't know how these things are going to fit in people's cases unless you are a true, enthusiast, build your own computer type of person. Now, the 4080s, maybe that's a different story. They will probably be smaller because the power consumption will be lower. The amount of memory and transistors are lower. So maybe that won't be as much of an issue for people. But these things are massive. Like, if you look at some of the renders, like they are big. And I just don't think it's a sustainable model for nVidia to continue to just increase the power that these things put out by making the cards bigger. I like the embiggening has to stop. Like it's going to get to a point where that is the diminishing returns are going to be so high, it's just not going to be worth it anymore. Now, is that going to stop me from buying this? No.
No.
If the weeks go by and this thing is so popular and it's selling out, and I start getting antsy and and getting like, I gotta have it, I'll make something work. I won't be happy with myself, but I'll make something work.
Right.
But I'm probably, if I walk in there day one and there isn't one that I can buy that is liquid cooled, I will have a tough decision, because I would much rather try to figure out how to get that all fit in my case that way versus having to put one of these big ass cards in my computer. And then finally, the other sort of gripe I have here is NVIDIA is doing something kind of stupid. So traditionally, when they release these video card series, like you will have, a certain, the 4000 series is the series of the graphics card, and you'll have a 4090 at one end, and the numbers will go down by 10, sort of decreasing till, you get to top end, high end, mid range, low range, right? Like there will be, like in the previous generation, there was a 3090, a 3080, a 3070, a 3060, a 3050.
Right.
Right now, the only cards that have been announced for this range is the 3090 and the 3080. Now, the 3080 has an asterisk because they are going to release a 3080 12 gigabyte memory version and a 3080 16 gigabyte version memory.
Okay.
And I feel like that's pretty misleading to consumers, because before, your series basically put you in a certain performance tier. The memory difference here is significant enough that just saying you have a 4080 isn't going to cut it. So I think that that's an interesting decision on NVIDIA's part. I don't necessarily agree with it. But just some weird dude in Ohio that likes computer games, it's not going to influence their decision. But other people have spoken a little more elegantly about this than I have. But it's an interesting decision. Like, why wouldn't they just make that the 4070? Because that, I mean, unless they have other plans for the mid range this generation, I don't know what that is. But again, it's a very curious design that I think is going to end up confusing a lot of people. But I'm excited. I mean, I did not upgrade my graphics card when the quote unquote TI or titanium, or I think that's what this used to stand for, the titanium version launched. So I haven't, upgraded in a while. So this will be something I can buy. And like I said last time, if I were to upgrade to the AMD 7000 series, I don't think I would spend as much on a new motherboard, memory, processor combination here as I would on this graphics card. But instead of having to buy three things, I can buy one thing. And my processor isn't where the limiting factor in games are going to be over the next year. So I'm excited. It sounds like this is going to be the foreseeable future of these graphics cards. I really hope that the supply chain stuff doesn't bite us. There will be scalpers because this is a new product.
Yeah.
But people won't be buying them up for crypto. So maybe that'll help blunt that a little bit. But I expect there to be a crunch on these when they first launch, and there'll be scalpers selling them for $400 or $500 more than they're used to, and people will buy them, and the scalpers will win again, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's the big thing. It's going to be good. You upgraded Zach's not too long ago, right?
He's got a 3070.
Yeah, he's probably fine for now.
Yeah.
Because I mean, even if you wanted to get him a 4080, that's still probably going to be, I forget how much they announced that they're going to cost. Let me see if they have it on here. Price. Yeah, I don't see anything about pricing for the 4080s yet. But I mean, it won't be as much as the 3090, but it's still going to be pretty pricey. And plus, he's gaming at a resolution that I don't think it really affects him.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the NVIDIA stuff, man. I hope that helps. Moving right along.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you were going to say something. Go ahead.
Nope. I'm good. I'm just ready to talk about. I'm such a hypocrite, Drew. I'm such a hypocrite. Okay.
Yeah, you kind of are. So I got this email, and even before I clicked the link, I copy and pasted the link into our doc, because if there's one thing I know about us, Paul, is that we are suckers for anything Shadowrun.
We are. Despite this. Okay. Yep.
Okay, but let's come out swinging. Let's just come out swinging. Let's just get this over with.
Okay.
You and I feel have been burned a little bit on Shadowrun stuff the last couple go arounds.
Yes.
The Shadowrun Crossfire game seemed like it was going to be really good, but that game was way too fucking hard.
It was.
It was way too fucking hard. And it's a shame because the artwork and the theme and everything I thought were really cool. But I have never won a game of that.
Nope.
And then the latest edition of Rules of Shadowrun apparently aren't that great.
Yeah, they're not that great.
Yeah. So we're skeptical. We are the skeptical boys.
And I'm also skeptical about this thing for another reason. But let's keep going.
So I found in my inbox that there was a Kickstarter for a new thing called Shadowrun Edge Zone.
It's not really new, Drew.
Okay, so that's what I wanted to talk to you about, because this is apparently a reboot of something from the 90s when I was really starting to get into Shadowrun, and I never even knew this existed.
Oh, okay. So yeah, the game is called Shadowrun Edge Zone. It is a updated version of the 1997 Shadowrun the trading card game. There was a period in the mid to late 90s where everybody wanted a little piece of the magic pie.
Sure did.
Everyone wanted to be Magic the Gathering. I was big into Shadowrun, and I bought a lot of it. In fact, I think I know where these cards are in my house. I almost went and got them. So I had a crap ton of them. Shadowrun, the trading card game, was fine. Not great. It's a 6.5 on Board Game Geek. I just looked it up. It was. It's been a long time since I played it, obviously, because I'm a man of a certain age. It was Shadowrun. It had some cool artwork and cool themes, but it was just too hard. There was a lot of rules. It was fine. It wasn't anything special, right? It was like I don't know why anybody would spend money on this when, like games like Magic existed. Now they're getting away from the buying booster. It looks like it's going to be more like a what Netrunner is, like what a limited card game where what cards are in there, right? It's not like but they've totally upped the production. I guess they have tweaked the rules a little bit, so hopefully maybe they make it a little bit more streamlined. I've downloaded the rules because I kind of want to read them. The artwork looks fantastic.
Really does.
And even though I knew it was based off a game that was mediocre, I went through and I was like, wow, $100 gets me everything?
Get you everything.
Okay.
Can't afford not to.
I can't afford not to. And what I like about this, I don't know if you saw this, Drew, but apparently they've already produced the cards. So it's not one of those things where you're gonna you give them money and then they're gonna have to wait forever. Apparently, they're outside of the logistics of shipping, they'll be ready to go. So I figured, what the hell?
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that sort of mid to late 90s. We can do Magic better than Magic because we have other IP to sort of sling around.
Yep.
The two that I was playing other than Magic is I got really heavy into the BattleTech card game.
Oh.
In fact, the first box of boosters I ever bought was the BattleTech one. Really? And unlike you, I don't know what happened to those cards. I had all the best fucking cards, dude. That game was so fun. And I was good at it, and no one ever wanted to play me because I was mediocre at Magic and people could kick my shit in at the comic book store, but I was really good at the BattleTech card game. The other card game that I was into then was Star Wars had a collectible card game.
Yes.
And it was super complicated.
Yes.
You had to lay the planets out, you had to move your fleets between the planets and everything. That was fun. and I had some of those cards, but I didn't have any. Like, that was a game where if you had a good card, like if you had a really strong deck, like you could just wipe the floor with people.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, those were the ones I was into, and this one was absolutely not on my radar, even though I was actively playing Shadowrun. Like, I didn't even know this was a thing.
Yeah.
So of course I'm intrigued, right? I will probably end up backing this. I haven't backed it yet. It looks like it's a competitive game, yes?
It is, yeah.
Whereas a lot of the other Shadowrun stuff, a lot of the other Shadowrun games that we played have been cooperative, which is interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because it looks like it looks like you play as a fixer who is managing a team of Shadowrunners.
Yeah, and you're trying to complete objectives, and yeah. I mean, I downloaded the rules, and it's 20 pages of rules.
When is the expected delivery date?
October
of next year. October of next year. I'm looking at it right now.
Is it really? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's still, I mean, that's a year away. I don't know. It looks like the $100 version you get some playmats.
Yes.
Which, who doesn't love a good playmat?
I was like, yeah, I was sold.
I mean, $70 you get the Magic and Mayhem deck. $100 you get the playmats.
Yep.
So you're really paying $30 for 2 playmats. I'm a sucker for a playmat.
I am too.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably end up backing this because I would like to play this.
I backed it. Yeah, just because.
And it's being made by Catalyst Games, right? So it's not like it's,
Yeah, but Catalyst Games kind of.
Yeah, for better or worse. Now, did you play a lot of it when you played it?
Me and like my group of friends back then, we probably played it a lot for like 2 months, and then it was like, if I remember correctly, like a new Magic expansion came out,
and that was it.
And we were done. Yeah, we were done. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I'll probably end up buying this. We can play this.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. I wanted to get your opinion on that. Last topic, and I think it's a good one to end on because it's exactly what I'm going to be doing when I get off of here. The boys are back in town, Paul. It's that magical time of year. The
new Shooty Boys.
The new Shooty Boys. Modern Warfare 2 beta happening this weekend.
Oh, a beta.
So we me and Eric and my buddy Arthur, we all pre-ordered the game, and we have access to the PC beta this weekend. Last week was the PlayStation version. This week, for today officially and tomorrow, if you pre-ordered, you get 2 extra days of the beta, and then it'll be open to everybody on Steam this coming weekend. I installed it today, and I played a little bit after work, just to kind of get a feel for it. It's good. The last couple Call of Duties have not been super great. Part of the reason is, and I think I might have talked about this before, is basically Call of Duty as a game there's currently 3 I think they're developers technically. 3 developers that sort of have the rights to make Call of Duty games, and they all sort of share. So one year one developer does it, then the next year the next developer does it, and then the next year the other developer does it. And
they can have 3-year cycles and put out a game every year.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
so
got it.
So Modern Warfare 2019 to me is probably the best Call of Duty that has been made. I kind of want to say ever. It was graphically, it was good. It played very well. The multiplayer was fluid, and it was just a good game. And that is made by Infinity Ward. Infinity Ward is who makes sort of the quote-unquote Modern Warfare line of Call of Duties. And this year's, 2022, is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Which there's already a Modern Warfare 2, so I don't know how that name works, but anyway.
Okay.
Yeah. Dude, the Call of Duty lore is deep and rich, and it's very convoluted. And then the year after 2019 was Black Ops Cold War, which was like an 80s themed Modern Warfare, which I thought was actually not bad. I didn't like it at first, but it sort of grew on me a little bit. That is made by Treyarch. Like, they sort of have the quote-unquote Black Ops version of Call of Duty. And that was fun. It was 80s version, and it was fine. Like, it was totally fine. Played different, felt different, but we got adjusted to it. And then last year's was Vanguard, and that was developed by Sledgehammer Games. Sledgehammer tends to do the more gritty fantasy World War II type stuff. And man, last year's Call of Duty was dog shit. Like we really tried. We really tried. It just wasn't good. It wasn't very well balanced. I did not like the theme. The game played okay. They had to tweak it a lot, and we sort of choked on it, right? Like we gritted our teeth and we played it, but I'm glad that we're finally moving away from that game and moving to the new stuff. This one is going back to the more modern times, and again, from the 10 or 15 minutes I played earlier today, it looks pretty good so far. There's some crashes and there's some stuff because beta, but
right,
you know, the subreddit's on fire with stuff that they changed, the stuff that they didn't change from 2019, and it's fun to watch people whine. You know, I already bought it, so I'm going to play it, of course. But there will probably be some upcoming streams of me playing this beta, and then finally, when it launches officially in October, we'll be doing that. But it's good to get the boys back together. So look for that. Cool. if you're at all interested. So we're coming up on Call of Duty season, just in time for the holidays.
Woo! I have never played a Call of Duty game.
Man, you know,
never.
I played the very first Call of Duty. I played like Call of Duty 2 and 3, and I never played any of the multiplayer in them because back then there really wasn't an online component to them. It was all mostly LAN. I think there might have been some internet play, but when Modern Warfare came out, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4, whatever it was, in the early 2000s, I remember playing the campaign, and it was masterful. It was unlike anything I ever played. It told a really compelling story with Captain Price and Soap and Ghost and all the people in there. And, you know, Modern Warfare 2 was also really good. But those were the first times I ever played those online. And then, you know, the dopamine hit of leveling up and unlocking new guns and attachments. And that sort of cycle was established, and it just has stuck with me ever since. And there were a couple Call of Duties in the late 2000s and early 2010s that I never got into, like Infinite Warfare and Advanced Warfare. I sort of skipped over those. I never played Call of Duty Ghosts, except when I got it on sale or got it part of a Humble Bundle or something. But yeah, I mean, they're fun. I mean, I can say that that's appointment gaming for me at this point. I'm 40 years old and I still play it. It's something I've been playing since my 20s. So it's just something I've always done, and it's pretty fun.
Yeah. Cool.
All right. Well, before Eric starts yelling at me, let's go ahead and wrap this up.
Yeah. We're on the internet thing. It's going to be popular. Doingtheirbest.com on Twitter. Doing Best Pod. I'm on Twitter at Paul Baylor. Where can we find you, Drew?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter at Pittfurg, Pittfurg.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening.